What's going on, fellow alchemists? Welcome to Astrology. Today we're delving into the 11th house and all of its secrets, but we bring in the light with us. This is the sun in the 11th house. So the sun in the 11th house, what does that mean in the chart, and how can you interpret that more accurately to get better understanding? The sun basically is all about our confidence. This is our point where our ego truly shines out. By ego, I mean our Atmakarka in Vedic astrology. This is the point where our soul points out our soul mission. This is what we are here to accomplish. This is what we are here to do. But usually what happens with the solar energy is you could almost say it gets eclipsed by the moon sign and the ascendant. Lots of people don't live up to their sun sign and that solar energy early in their lives because it's been eclipsed by the ascendant and the moon sign. But when you finally reach that area, where you finally reach that confidence, which can actually happen when you're younger, however that's very rare, you find yourself in your element. This is why you are the solar energy radiating itself out into the world, finally. And so a lot of people who have their sun in the 11th house deal with all the issues of the 11th house. And one of the problems with having your sun in the 11th house is because the 11th house is about giving back to the community. It's about collective consciousness. It's about the point where it's the only point in the chart where you have a man pouring water back into the stream, and the esoterical importance of this cannot be addressed enough. You are giving back. In Capricorn, you were at your height. All your skills and all your knowledge came out, and you used that to establish your kingdom. But the problem with having a kingdom and not giving anything back is it's very delicate because it can fall. The people might give you things, you might attribute yourself to being rewarded things. However, you aren't really a kingdom until you're able to provide for those who serve you. You aren't able to be called a king or queen or empress or whatever you wish to call yourself because you aren't giving back. And that is where Aquarius comes into it. Aquarius is all about giving back to the community. It's all about sharing. It's all about your humanitarian effort. This is where you decide, not only am I going to rule, but now I am going to do my penance. I am going to drop down from the rulership that I used and I exalted in Capricorn to extend my power and reach, and I was at my height in Capricorn, but now I am stepping into the most humanitarian sign in the zodiac. Virgo also is quite the humanitarian, but Aquarius, because the 11th house is ruled over by Aquarius, you become very, very interested in being involved in humanitarian services. And when you have your sun here, the problem is that the sun kind of gets lost in here because the sun is about the individual ego. It's about who you are in this life. But when you're being seen through the lens of how you interact and how you serve others, you can kind of see where I'm going with the problem here. Because now you cannot find your sun because your sun irradiates and illuminates everyone and not just yourself. So it becomes very easy for you to basically live for other people and not yourself. But because you do live for other people and you can bring out and serve other people, you irradiate and you illuminate their lives. You bring in great, wonderful ideas. You're able to construct and be the beacon in a sign or a house that is quite honestly quite the opposite of anything to do with individualism. You're able to bring that individual light and shine it on everyone. It's just the issue, as I previously mentioned, you struggle to shine it on yourself. The 11th house and the 12th house are in Vedic astrology seen as malefic houses because they hide the influences, they hide the individual influences of the specific planetary bodies and luminous bodies in the chart. But the whole purpose of this point of the chart is you are now submerging yourself back into the collective consciousness. You're the water that's being poured from that vase or whatever you want to call it, and you're getting poured back into the stream. You're connecting your consciousness, the individual consciousness, back into the greater collective. You're being part of something more so than what you currently are. And when you have your sun here, you're bringing that light with you. You're sharing it with people around you. You're bringing it into the community. You can become a very good leader. People here can exhibit very good leadership skills because it's right next to Capricorn. But a lot of the time, they don't portray themselves as leaders, but as servers of humanity. And they do this honestly. They don't just do it so that they don't just say that they're servers of humanity to try and not seem egotistic, but they generally are. They can be really good at serving humanity in different ways and different methods. And a lot of the time, to understand which ways, it's very easy to get that from looking at what signs are sitting on top of your 11th house, but also what other planets are sitting there with your 11th house and what kind of aspects are aspecting the sun in the 11th house. But again, it is very hard to find your individuality. Your individuality is meant to be lived through others, but not in the sense where you give up and surrender yourself. Do not surrender yourself. Understand that yourself is part of the collective, and that is the identity. That is the identity of the sun in the 11th house. That is how you understand what the sun in the 11th house is. It's the identity you attribute through others and your efforts to improve and to better and to change the lives of others that identifies you here in the 11th house. So fellow alchemists, that was the sun in the 11th house. I really hope you enjoyed that, and please don't forget to subscribe, drop a like if you like this video, and drop any comments down below if you have any questions for me. Until next time, take great care of yourself. I'll see you then. Bye.